Welcome back to the Talk is Cheap podcast. I'm your host, Big Boss Kane. To my right, I got my boy Kris Flair.
Yeah, man.
And to his right, we got my boy Ron Dog.
What's going on?
And now off camera, you can't see him, but you're going to hear him. I got my boy G-Man in the cut.
What's up? What's up?
And to my left, we got a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
Yes, sir. What's up, y'all? I'm Jaytee Renegade Thomason. Just glad to be out here and for y'all to have me out, man.
Oh, we appreciate you coming out,
Yes,
bro.
sir. Yes,
For
sir.
sure.
That's cool, man. I'm fucking excited for this one. I've been pumped, bro. I've been pumped.
So, where you coming from? Let's get to
Man,
know you.
I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I've lived in Dayton, Ohio my entire life. Really grew up in the east side, unfortunately. But, I moved to the west side, north side, kind of, up there off of Main Street. And I lived from like 13 to like 17 there. And that's where a good majority of my life that I can remember, you know what I
Okay.
mean, was
Oh,
spent.
yeah.
Fellow
So,
date night. Date
Yes,
stand
sir.
up.
Yes, sir.
You want to go? I don't want to
Yeah, so
you. I know you got a
no,
lot
you're
of
good.
questions.
You're good, bro. So, okay, so let's talk about so how did you get into MMA?
So,
how did this come
I mean,
about?
as a youngin, I grew up watching the Rocky Balboa movies.
Hell yeah.
And, I fell in love with, fighting in general, not necessarily boxing. I mean, I love boxing, but just fighting in general and the legacy that you can leave with something like this. For MMA for me it's kind of a lifestyle because I feel like I fought my entire life mental battles
Yeah.
more than anything. So, fighting outside of my own mind, I feel like has always been easier for me than fighting myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I was young, I would lash out and, I'd want to just fight anybody, really.
Yeah.
And, that would be my escape from inside was, you know what I'm saying? So I just found a way to do that legally.
Yeah,
You know what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
Without really, you know what I'm saying, putting people at risk. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
So you was out here whooping ass before you started
Yeah,
whooping
I
ass.
mean, don't get me
Right.
wrong. I've had my ass whooped. Everybody has it handed to them once or twice. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I definitely wasn't a hoe by no means. I went to Belmont High School, and as a smaller white guy,
Mm-hmm.
Comes with a lot of bullshit.
Right.
comes into a lot of bullshit. But it's also where you place yourself, and I placed myself in a lot of that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? In the
Mhm.
middle of it, trying to be cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
That's just that young shit. Though.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
do we-
yeah.
That's it's
You know
very
what I
fucking
mean?
common between everybody.
yeah,
Nah, I bet him try to be cool, try to be tough.
exactly. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Backyard brawls is a different world out there, ain't it?
Yeah, man. Kind of is, man.
So what about your training and everything? How has that come?
So like training when I was young, I went to a school called Horizon Science Academy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of
I'm
it.
hip to Horizon.
The one that I went to was on Monmouth.
Mhm.
I think it's Monmouth Avenue. And at that school, it's predominantly Turkish and Russian kids.
He's not lying.
Really?
He's
I
not
don't
lying
know.
at
Yeah, I've
all.
never heard
He's
of it.
not lying at all.
And so, one thing about it is most schools don't have that type of extracurricular activity, with fighting and stuff. But Horizon did. They had Taekwondo.
Oh wow.
And that was really my first time. So I know I said Rocky movies, but that was when I was real young and I was introduced to it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just to fighting in general, for real. That it was a sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when I went there, they had a class after school
Mhm.
that there was nobody else but Turkish kids in this class.
Damn.
And I went to it.
Yeah. No, that's what
I
I'm
went
about
to
say.
it 3 times and I got my ass whooped
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah.
And mainly by the training of it, not
Mhm.
even like sparring or anything like that. Because even though it was, a Taekwondo class, it was still a school, so they had to keep it fairly light, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But just the training of it really kicked my ass. But I didn't know it then, but I loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So training now is like, okay, I do like 3 personal trainings a week in the morning, and I usually go to Vision MMA Monday and Wednesday.
Mhm.
And so I do an MMA day, and I do a wrestling day, and I also do a kickboxing day.
Oh, okay.
Basically, is how I see it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's how I base my training, because those 3 things are what kind of pushing MMA artists. Wrestling, you gotta have a base. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I have a strong kickboxing base,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna be honest with you, my jujitsu isn't all the way there.
Mhm.
So I work wrestling to get up because I want to keep you standing. That's the type of fighter I am.
Right.
So I train a lot of escapes and get ups and just powering through things. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But yeah, so training's going well. Right now I'm kind of in the last little bit of my weight cutting process, so I've kind of slowed down with training and did more calisthenic work to sweat out what I have to
Right.
lose.
Right. Type shit.
Yeah.
So
How
yeah.
much?
Hold on, because we skipped a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been doing MMA?
So MMA for me, I've only been doing it about a year and a half now, like MMA as a whole. But like I said, I've always fought and things like that. But MMA, training for MMA, about a year and a half. About
Okay.
a year and a half.
How many fights you done had?
So I've had one unsanctioned match.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was crazy. I
Yeah,
watched
it
that
was.
shit. That's
It
a,
was.
yeah, no, because I was scrolling through Facebook one day and I seen his fight and I'm like, holy shit, I got somebody on my friends that be fucking getting in that damn cage.
And so basically with that unsanctioned match, because I know a lot of people are going to question like, oh, well, why would you take an unsanctioned match? You know, like it don't go on your record. It does nothing for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do at that point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I had been working like all types of different food jobs, you know what I'm saying? I finally got into the hospital where I was making good money, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Decent money. But I still, because I'm the type of person like, I can't just work a 9 to 5 and not be doing something else. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's almost like I know everybody in here has a job, but y'all have to come do this pod. It's like a
Yeah.
it's like
yeah.
your
You gotta
vice,
have
you know what I'm
something
saying?
more,
You gotta
yeah.
have something more to do, and that's just
Yeah.
who I am. Like I gotta have something bigger than me that I'm working for,
Right.
or I just feel like I'm stuck. You know what I mean? Give me a second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's the purpose. I mean, shit, you gotta have something to strive for other than working for somebody else, a big corporation or whatever else. I mean,
Exactly.
there's definitely
So-
always a dream to maintain.
So yeah, man, like it's my dream.
Yeah.
This is
that's
definitely
awesome, bro.
my dream. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I've worked pretty hard for it so far.
Yeah. That's awesome. So how is training at Vision MMA and everything? Is that
Oh man, I love the guys over at Vision, man. My coach Joe, Coach Easy,
Yeah.
all of them, man. All the coaches, all my training partners, they're all great people, caring. You know, they care about your health.
yeah.
They care about if you're gonna make the weight. They care about, you know, what type of training you're doing before your fight. They care about, you know what I'm saying, like what you need to do to beat certain fighters. Like they really focus in on that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like it's great over there. I recommend that to anybody. Go to Vision MMA, Dayton Vision MMA.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the like biggest like MMA places, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, in Dayton, Ohio, there's another Vision. I don't necessarily know if they're connected. I don't think they are anymore, but they
Yeah.
were. But yeah, we're a pretty, you know what I'm saying, we got some pros and stuff. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
So did it all start out as you just going to the gym and then one of your guys talking to you?
Nah,
or-
well, so let me tell you how like training for MMA started, because I didn't used to train the way I train now.
Okay.
The way I used to train was it was way more dangerous. So me and my buddy, you know, when I first started thinking I wanted to do MMA, I bought all my gear and stuff, and he also had some gear, and we were like, it's Jive, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he come over, and we started sparring, and that was our training. So we sparred a lot, a lot, and basically I was teaching him everything that I had already knew to get him to where he could kind of be a more formidable opponent for me. You know what I'm saying? Give me, because he was a bigger guy,
Right.
and he had really a strong kickboxing base, and his kicks hurt. Like his kicks are heavy, they're fast, but his hands weren't there, and that's what I wanted to work, was hands and feet. So we had to get his hands from my street boxing knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not a stupid fighter. That's the thing. That's one thing you'll learn through this podcast is I'm a creative fighter, and I've always been that even before training. I've always found shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Found openings
Yeah.
and made shit happen. You know what I mean? So I had to teach him a lot of that stuff, and you know, he got really good. Like he's
Yeah. That's awesome.
he's like, out of everybody now, he's the one I'm I used to, you know what I'm saying, ping him up,
Yeah.
you know, out there. Now it's like
It's back and forth.
Now it's
I
back
know,
and
I see
forth.
you guys
and
on the
he-
Facebook,
He's the
like-
one that makes me a little bit nervous out of everybody
yeah.
because he knows everything I do,
Right.
and I know everything he does, and we counter each other perfectly.
Yeah.
But it's a great fight.
Right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah.
It's great
Yeah,
training.
that's cool, man.
But that's how I trained for I'd say about 9 to 10 months. Was
Mhm.
out in my backyard
Yeah.
in the heat. We would do calisthenics and shit like that first, and we would get to sparring for about an hour.
yeah.
And sparring for an hour sounds crazy, but I promise you, sparring.
Well, you were
for
out
an
in like
hour-
the scorching sun,
Scorching
like the hot
sun,
as fuck,
that's
like
how-
in the 90s, and
I'm
I'm
telling
scrolling on
you.
Facebook and I see this dude in his backyard training. I'm like,
That's
holy
dedication.
shit! Like,
I'm
bro,
telling
wants it, yeah, like
That's
it's,
dedication.
exactly,
you.
yeah,
Dedication.
We literally, you know, I bought bamboo sticks and everything to create a ring back there.
yeah, that's awesome.
And I used bamboo on my body, beating bamboo on my body to strengthen my body. Like
Yeah.
there's all types of unseen things that you didn't see on the camera that we was doing.
You can't give them all the
Yeah, you
secrets.
can't
now.
give 'em all the
Can't give 'em all the
secrets,
secrets.
You know.
yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you went in with a friend instead
Yeah.
of going into the dark by yourself.
Well, here's the crazy thing. So I didn't know Jive before that. Like I knew him on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
but like when I first decided, I think it was because I took a fight. I took the fight. No, I didn't take the fight yet. Don't let me lie to y'all. I didn't take the fight, but I wanted to get into fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So I put on my Facebook, I said, I need a training partner or a sparring partner. We can keep it light, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you
Yeah.
can pull up on me. And
And he did,
Jive,
yeah.
lo and behold, he showed up. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
awesome.
And what's funny about that is this my dude now. I'm not gonna lie. No Diddy shit. That's like my best friend. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That's like my dude. Before I knew Jive, when I was in the music real heavy. I was young. I had like a real big ego problem with music. I wanted to be the best in the city, and Jive at the time was the best.
Yeah.
So there was one point where I was trying to beef with him just for no reason.
Oh shit.
Just for no reason. And I think on one of his posts, I was like, bro, I think you just need beat up. And lo and behold, about 5-6 years later, here we
Yeah.
are in the backyard
Beating each
sparring,
other up.
beating each other up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my dude, though. Shout out Jive. Y'all go stream his music.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Hey, your
That's
enemy
awesome.
is the friend of your enemy.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, that's cool. I was trying to say, well, what else? Yeah, we got a shit ton of questions for you. I'm trying to get through them all.
Now this
But,
this my question. If any, is there a UFC fighter USA inspires you? You model yourself after? Who would you compare yourself to as far as like the pros go?
So, style-wise, I get told, and I'm not even trying to be funny or anything or be egotistical, but I have literally been told that I fight like a little bit like Michael Venom Page,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit like Max Holloway, and I base my style off of Max Holloway, just so everybody knows that's my favorite fighter.
Yeah, good ass fighter, bro.
And a little bit of Anderson Silva.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because of the way I use my kicks. I space myself, and I mean, you would think that my head's wide open by the way my hands are. So
Mhm.
you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I
Yeah.
use more of like a karate stance in a way. So
Now, would you say, like besides Max, obviously, because you said that's
Yeah.
kind of who you would you say, like based off of that, did you kind of look into their styles a little more, try to model yourself after them a little more, or how did that have a play in your style?
So honestly, and this is gonna sound like so Max. So honestly, because I'm such a big fan of Max, all
Mhm.
right. So Max said that he learned his moves off of UFC 4,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, I tried the same thing. I went on
Yeah.
that game and I played it forever, and I tried to learn things. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
and honestly, like some of my spinning back kicks, like some of it I learned from playing the game. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But as far as like certain moves and stuff that I'm learning from certain fighters, like the spinning back fist from Shara.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
The double spinning back fist. Like I've been training that because once I seen that done, and I'm like, that's possible. It's like, well, I want one of those.
Right.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like
yeah.
there's certain things that I'm training to do, but as an amateur, some things I can't train to do. Some things I have to keep out of my mind, like knees to the head
Mm-hmm.
and elbows to the head, because they just don't allow that in amateur. So
Yeah. So there is different rules and stuff.
yeah.
So
yeah.
wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I wasn't even
You
thinking
didn't know
about.
that?
I wasn't even thinking about. I mean, I know there is.
I
but
done
it's
been
like,
to a couple they got some fights out in Connorsville.
Oh, okay.
I got a homie, shout out my boy Preston.
Yeah.
But I done been to a couple of them fights, and yeah, it's a lot. It's totally different than like Ultimate Fight Club.
yeah, I guess like boxing too, like headgear and stuff, like the amateur stuff.
Do y'all wear headgear? Because I
Nah,
haven't seen anybody
so,
wearing
so
headgear.
this is the way MMA is, man. And actually it's with all combat sports, boxing, kickboxing, MMA, Muay Thai. In different states it's different because the commissions are
Regulation,
different.
Right.
Okay.
So like if I fought here in Ohio with MMA, I couldn't even throw a head kick to the head.
Yeah.
And
that's
they make
how it
us
was
wear
where I was
they
at.
make us wear like leg gear. or
Yep,
whatever,
they wear
stuff
shin
like
guards.
that.
That's what I was gonna say too.
Damn.
So you have to really pick and choose where you fight and know the rules.
Yeah.
Like, so me personally, I'm trying to find the states with the least amount of rules.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and it's only because it opens up my options to find finishes. You know
Right.
what I mean? So like it just depends on where you go.
Yeah.
And then I feel like too, if you're fighting in a state where they don't really allow you to do those things, as you move up and you start fighting in those places, it kind of gives you a little bit of a handicap when it comes to
Well, it's a false sense of security at that
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
because like you could fight in Ohio this month, right? And they weren't allowed to head kick you, but now you go down to like, let's say Kansas, where I'm going, and you get head kicked out of nowhere, and you're like, well, it's legal, but it's like I've been fighting in Ohio for
Right.
my last 5
Yeah.
fights.
I ain't
Yeah.
never been kicked in the
I
head.
ain't never been kicked in the head. So like that's why. I mean, I'm not recommending Ohio, but I'm kind of not recommending Ohio. Like, go to Kentucky, go somewhere else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go somewhere where there's less restrictions because our commission, they're kind of shit. So.
Yeah.
To where you have more opportunity for finishes and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, also it's like there's less because on top of the commission, like the commission also sends out like all the judges and reffing and stuff like that, and like I just feel like Ohio, they're kind of iffy in
Yeah.
the way they judge things, and from the fights I've seen, you know what I mean.
Right.
There's a reason the UFC don't come here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Understandable.
You know what I mean?
Rarely, yeah. It's just like once in a blue moon. I'd be pissed as fuck, dude. I'm dying to go to UFC. I went to a few and I'm like, damn, bro, come back, man.
Not here.
So where was the last fight at? Was that in?
So that was in Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
um,
Okay. So it was
okay.
around.
So
here.
it was for Born for Battle Brawlers,
Okay.
which is they're shout out them, shout out what's his name? I'm trying to think of his name.
The promoter of it.
Yeah, shout out the promoter of him
Yeah.
of Born for Battle. Even though they're they're kind of underground, they were fun to work with.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
That cage was crazy.
Yeah,
from
it
watching
was-
the
it
video,
was-
it's so wild.
it was a little bit crazy looking.
Yeah.
It looked
Like
like
it looked
some-
really small. Like on
It was
camera,
tiny,
on the
bro.
Video, it
It
looked
was,
really,
it
really
was
small.
tiny.
Look really bouncy. As that
And that's
step
like
you were
when I
taking.
when I
Yeah.
took that fight, it was like to see if I was going to be restricted by the cage because I've always been like, even in a street fight, I've always been that guy to play like the outside. Like you're not gonna grab me up. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like that's not happening. I'm too small for you to grab me.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I have to play the outside. And so I thought that the cage would restrict me. And when I got in there, I'm like, nah, this shit just makes me more of a demon because I feel like I'm boxed in with him now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now if he
Just
gets
that I
anywhere
can't
close
go
to me,
where
it's
you
like,
can't go.
yeah, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like it's just a different feeling. And I honestly thought when I got in there, I was going to be nervous. And I'm more nervous for this podcast than fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the craziest part about it.
Yeah.
I got in there and it just was natural.
Yeah.
And so I knew right then, I was like, yeah.
I'd be scared as shit. Like, bro.
I mean, don't get me wrong. My
Especially, like-
nerves were rolling at first, but when I got in there, it was like, okay, we're here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? All my
Would you say
people
it's a different adrenaline than like a street fight?
man, little bit, because you got eyes watching. Like, in a street fight, you don't care who's watching.
Right.
You don't care who's recorded it until after.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
you won or, you know what I'm saying, or lost.
Yeah.
So you don't really care in a street fight who's watching, but you really shouldn't in an MMA fight, but like on your first one, it's like it's all around you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You hear people. And for my first MMA fight, it was a pretty decent crowd of like
Yeah. There's a good
500
amount
to
of people
600 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like all the sides were surrounded.
there.
I
Yeah.
had my dad right there. I had my brothers. Well, my brother and my sister. But,
Yeah.
you know
It's a
what I'm
lot of
saying?
pressure.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of pressure. So, but I got in there and it went smooth, man.
But you did your thing, bro.
I did my thing.
Did
bro.
your thing.
First,
for
first
sure.
punch, he was.
You
I don't
rocked
know if
him.
y'all can pull
Oh,
that
you
up.
rocked
That
him.
bitch is
rocked
You
crazy.
rocked him. Yeah. I'm trying to say I might be
Been
able
doing
to
all that
Go
training
on,
for so long.
open up a new tab.
You
on
can
there.
find
Do
it.
you know-
You can go to Instagram if you.
Yeah. And then well, go to Facebook. Can we do
Yeah,
Facebook?
or
Is that cool with you,
yeah,
bro?
Yeah,
Is that cool?
Facebook's fine, Facebook's fine.
So I should be
Y'all
logged
can
in on
edit,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then go in the search, and then go click on JT right there at the top. It's in the videos. I was just watching a little bit ago. I was showing Ronnie. I don't know which the one that like a TikTok video. I
You
think
can
that,
you can watch the 205 one right there under my promo.
Right,
Right there, down one.
Yep, that
Yep.
one right
That
there.
one worked.
Yeah, there you go.
That first
Rock
punch
the
right
shit out
there.
of him, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, this dumbass had his socks on.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
was
was
like,
saying.
keep your socks on. I dare you.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
rethinking.
Look,
getting
he
that
went
cage
up to the
at that
ropes.
point.
Like, hold up.
Into the ropes.
Somebody said, "Watch your face."
Yeah.
It's too late.
Grab him up. You know what I'm saying? Put him down.
Yeah, you landed a nasty spinning kick, body kick, right?
Yeah,
I think in
yeah.
the first
Yep.
round or something like
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't really because I should have threw it as like a more of like a jabbing spinning back kick, but I threw it as like a to his ribs.
Yeah.
It wasn't really what I wanted. He tried to lock me up, so I just put him in the side. I knew the round was about to be over, so I was like, well, if you're gonna lock me up, I'm gonna lock you up
Yeah.
into this round.
Bro's on demon time, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
He's ready to go.
See, this is when I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish him. Seeing it, amateurs, all that shit's illegal. I mean, that's not, but then knee stomps and shit,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But this is unsanctioned, so
Yeah. That one, that was what I was talking about. That was pretty nice.
yeah. I landed it. for
Yeah.
sure.
So he just kept on trying to grapple you the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, no. So when he was training, because he did a little bit of training over on the side, and he was wrestling a lot over there, and I was like, well, that's not really gonna do much because, as you can see,
Yeah, it got him.
Reversed it completely.
exactly. And really, I threw myself into that.
You got
So what I did was I threw a flying elbow, and when I hit him with the flying elbow, as soon as I did this, they told him to slam me,
Mm-hmm.
and so he wrapped his arms around him. When you do that to me, that's over because you know what I'm saying. I've been training guillotine forever.
Yeah.
Like that's how I choke people in a street fight too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you go to take me down, like I'm in
Jump
there, you
at
feel me?
Gilly.
So when I hit him with the elbow, he wrapped his arms around, and I just straight took the guillotine choke.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're like, yeah, slam this shit. And I'm like, yeah, slam my shit, please, because as soon as we go to the ground,
Over with.
it's over.
Tighten.
Yeah.
Well, the Poirier on him. That
Yeah, a little
motherfucker
Poirier,
be
yeah.
jumping the
This
Gilly,
is my
bro.
question though. Like, when you're fighting, are you thinking? Does your mind wander? Where's your head at?
Honestly, man, it's finish it. You know, I don't try to wait things out. My game plan is always to get in there and finish the fight as quick as I can. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time to think and play. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because this is a game of milliseconds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you move your head this way, and even just this much, you get caught by a hook and you're knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, any little movement could go into something, like
Yeah.
somebody's shot. You see what I'm saying? So like, you
Mhm.
have to find the opening and get it done, and that's just how my game plan is. There's a lot of different fighters who like to pour an onslaught and then, you know what I'm saying, push back and try to stretch the fight out.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to leave it up to a decision. Like I don't want to leave it up to a decision. And the amateurs, the judges aren't really that fair sometimes
Mhm.
from the fights I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen some really good fighters get fucked.
Well, that shit happened even in the big
And
leagues
then
too. It's
the
crazy.
biggest, but
Judges.
it's really bad in the amateurs.
Is it? Yeah.
And here's the reason why: because you're in a the type of fighter I am. I'm in a shark tank of wrestlers. The amateurs are mainly all wrestlers,
Right. Right.
and it's because that's how you make it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And the ones who blow up are the strikers. You see what I'm saying? A wrestler, in my opinion, 7 out of 10 times will make it at least pro.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But a striker who can push through a Shark Tank of wrestlers and beat them,
Yeah.
that's a star.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Yeah.
star.
That's what a lot of people want to see too.
Exactly.
You know, and like the fighting style that people really care for and really want to watch.
Exactly.
Just like us, like a fucking
Yeah.
O'Malley.
At the end of the
you
day,
know?
we're still
Yeah.
entertainers. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Nobody
right.
wants to come pay for boring fights.
Yeah.
All these
exactly.
fights up here, you know what I'm saying, that we have up behind us,
Yeah.
those were all amazing fights because UFC refuses to
Yeah.
put boring fights together. Now, don't get me wrong, they've had a couple.
Yeah.
And when
oh,
it
yeah.
happens, Dana be pissed.
Yeah, he'd be
He's
pissed.
pissed as fuck.
But
yeah.
he should be pissed at himself because
Yeah.
motherfuckers be trying to tell him, Uncle Dana, that shit ain't right.
Yeah.
If you listening, that shit ain't right.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
so yeah, like it really takes a promoter to make good
Oh, yeah.
fights. You know what I mean? But also promoters are kind of evil here lately in these days, anyways. Like
Oh, this bit evil.
Yeah.
they
it's
try
like,
to-
it's like shows and stuff.
they
It's
try
like-
well
it's crazy.
in my case, you know, they try to do feed fights. So they know that there's fighters coming up in the system who have a name, you know what I'm saying? And they try to like they'll hit me up for like their 8-0 wrestler. And it's like, bro,
Yeah.
I don't even have an amateur fight yet.
Mhm.
Why are you trying to set me up for a loss?
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? Like not saying I would lose,
Right.
but it's just the fact of like he's 8-0, I'm 0-0. I see what you're doing. You think I'm a cab driver. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be your cab driver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that is crazy, bro. The shit I don't think about. Like, I just be watching the fights, but like that's why it's cool to have you here, bro. Because
Yeah.
it's like
yeah.
it's a whole nother perspective of it, bro.
Yeah. Well, when you get up into like UFC and shit like that, that's mainly it goes off of the rankings and which the rankings have been fucked here lately. I know
Yeah,
a lot of people are gonna
bitch
say
about
that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? A lot of people are gonna argue that, but you still have to in some way have storylines. That's
Mhm.
what most
Yeah.
people don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is like
You gotta
legacies
sell the
matter
fight.
and shit like that matters. Like the whole John Jones, Stipe Miocic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let them fight it out.
Right.
If John Jones wanted to retire, he would have. He would have did it that night. He would have put his gloves down.
Yep.
Why would he not put his gloves down
Yeah,
if he
he
wasn't going to fight Tom?
Yeah.
People are just so ready to jump the gun on
Oh
things,
yeah.
and they don't want to wait.
Yeah.
And it's like in our world, sometimes we need a break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and especially like
That's
the
one of
fight camps and like the weight cuts.
Yeah, it's
all the
terrible,
shit.
man. There's
And then
sometimes
on
I come
top of
home
that, you
feeling
gotta
like
go
a
in there and
zombie.
fight.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just so drained and
Yeah. Yeah. That shit's rough. I've seen like some of the weight cuts and I'm like, holy shit.
yeah. Look at Conor McGregor's weight cut.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's
Especially
You know.
going to work and then coming back and then
Yeah, man.
training. And,
Yeah.
Well, that's what a lot of the guys do in
Yeah.
UFC too. Like, especially when they're starting out, like they're maybe getting like 10, 15 grand to fight, and they got a lot of that goes towards camp or towards
camp
coaches and gyms.
and see
that
that's
shit.
why like I try to do a lot of my stuff on my own. I do
Mhm.
use my coaches and things like that. and
Right.
you know what I'm saying? When I need them, they're paid. But the way I fight and my style is so different because I'm right-handed. All right, I'm without giving too much away.
Yeah.
I'm right-handed. He's gonna know immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it is when he gets in there. I'm right-handed, but I fight southpaw.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people would say, well, why are you doing that? Because your power is in your right, so you
Mhm.
should be using that as your straight.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I fight is like a point fighting type of system, but it's to end you.
Mm-hmm.
I move better in southpaw, and that's what I worry about is
Mhm.
being able to get away from certain shots. So if I move better, and it takes a little bit less power away, and I can hit you more, I'm going to do that.
Right.
yeah.
I don't move as well in orthodox, but I do like. Nah, I can't even say that. Let's give it too much. We ain't
Yeah,
gonna
sorry,
do
bro. We're
that.
not trying
We
to
ain't
get
gonna do that. You'll find out, my guy.
Yeah, and a lot of people they'll tell you too, like the southpaw stance is so tricky. Like a
Oh,
lot of
yeah,
people
yeah, it's-
cannot figure out
it's
southpaw.
very tricky.
very different from orthodox and everything. So do you know a lot about the opponent and everything? Like,
I know a good amount about him. Because he's currently 0-2. No disrespect to him.
Mhm.
He's a champ for getting out here and fighting me. It takes a real man to go 0-2 and still want to do this shit. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
So with that being said, I can't look past him because
Mhm.
being 0-2, he has nothing to lose.
mhm.
I have everything to gain.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna look past him. Like I know what you can do, my guy. But he's, from what I see and what I hear, he's more of a grappling type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he does jujitsu. He's the gym that he's connected to is a heavy grappling gym. So we're looking, he's gonna probably try to grapple me.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go there, he's gonna be very,
Yeah.
he's gonna be upset.
Like, bro, for sure.
That's
He's
what I
gonna
like.
be
Confidence.
upset.
I like the confidence all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's key, man. It's just like
Yeah,
Connor. It's like, it's
well, I
so key,
mean,
bro. You gotta believe
If
it.
you don't have no confidence in yourself, then what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why are you not saying why are you here, but why are you? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You gotta
Yeah.
grow something,
I
be a
feel like
man. You know what I
Yeah.
A
mean?
big part of like the fight game too is just mental. Like it's like
Yeah.
crazy. You see like a lot of the guys, like even the kick. I think Jones did. Yeah, we pulled up the video. We talked about it on the podcast before. Like the kick he was doing backstage.
Mm-hmm.
Like same with Connor and Aldo. Like it's crazy, bro. They're doing the backstage of practicing sequences, and it shit happens.
It
Like,
just happens,
it's
man.
a big mental
when,
game.
when you can that's one big thing about it. Manifesting things.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I manifest a lot of things. No weird shit in the shower.
Yeah.
Just water running. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just-
Thoughts.
Just letting it run
Right.
free. Completely away from everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can see things that you want to happen. So
That's awesome, bro. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. So
Yes,
so
sir.
this fight and everything, Kim. So is it pay per view? Is it like
yeah.
retail?
So day of the fight, man, you guys can go on Crash Combat
Okay.
on their Facebook,
Okay.
and you'll be able to find the pay-per-view link. Be sure you get the right pay-per-view link
Right.
because many people know about the pay-per-view link scams that go on Facebook. Anytime any large event pops up, there'll be a million different
Yeah,
links.
links and everything. Yeah.
and none of them are real except for one. So if you really need it, hit me up, Jaytee Renegade Thomason. You'll find me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely need that link, bro. We're
For
gonna go
sure.
out there.
Yes,
Swear to
sir.
God.
So are there any organizations and stuff in the future? So do you have like a dream organization you want to be with? What do you want to
So
be
I
with
mean,
UFC?
obviously, everybody wants to go to the UFC. That's everybody's, their
Right.
dream. Those are the best fighters in the world. But you have to start somewhere. And
Mhm.
what I was telling my buddy earlier is that, like, when you fight, which I've learned this already just by talking to a few different promoters and finding out who's on what cards and whatnot.
Mhm.
As you start fighting and you start getting a name, you'll start getting invites to bigger events. So, like, think about it. My first event was an unsanctioned one with 500 people.
Right.
Yeah.
My next event already, as my first event, will be way, way bigger than that.
Yeah.
Because I've already took a fight and it looked good, even though it was unsanctioned.
Mhm.
I did that fight for experience and for the video
Yeah.
to show what I could do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To show people, hey, I've already done a match.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm 24 and I don't have time to sit in the gym and train classes all day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have to push now.
Yeah.
So I'm in a catch-up phase right now.
Mhm.
I should have started this when I was 20.
Mm-hmm.
I should be 8-9 fights in as an amateur.
Yeah.
So I'm playing catch-up. I have this fight scheduled, and then if this fight goes well, I have another fight the next month.
Yeah.
That's how I'm scheduling things.
Yeah.
And if something happens to where I can't take that fight, then unfortunately I can't. But the goal is to take that fight.
Yeah.
Oh, my boy Phil done rejoined the pod. What's up, brother? Oh, you're all good, brother.
Yeah, that's awesome though, bro. So we pretty much got that out of the way. We had a little segment on here, rapid fire. I guess we can run through it still. We can go through it.
A little rapid fire.
All right, yeah, rapid fire. Okay, so favorite fighter of all time, which I think you already kind of answered it, but we'll double check and ask you again.
I got two.
That's good.
Okay. Max
Yeah,
and probably my boy John Jones.
yeah,
I think John Jones is everybody's favorite.
yeah, yeah.
He's
But-
damn near the best.
I mean, Islam is on top. I can't lie.
I
He's
ain't
a
mad at
beast.
that.
Yeah,
I ain't mad at that
he's
at
a
all.
beast, bro.
And Alex is in right where he's supposed to be in 3. So y'all can quit them comments and stuff.
Yeah.
It's fine. The only one who's tripping is Dana.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see when Jones fights Aspinall, bro. Because I definitely think it's gonna happen.
If he fights Aspinall and beats
so-
him, then maybe we'll talk maybe 1.
Yeah.
But if you run, then I put him down at 5
Yeah.
because don't run from time.
Yeah. No. That's It's gonna be a good fight though.
But yeah,
So striking or grappling,
striking, striking.
and then do you got a dream venue to fight in?
MGM Grand
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
or the Sphere. That looked really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that
That shit
sphere
was
was
crazy.
nice.
That shit was crazy.
We'll go
Real
Sphere
nice.
then MGM Grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty dope.
Let's see. One word to describe your fighting style.
Quick.
I agree with that. I agree with that for sure.
I can see that.
All right.
Got an off the ball one. What
Alright.
animal describes your fighting style?
That's a good question.
That is.
That's a good
That's
question.
an off the wall question. Hey, it's off the wall, but it's
Yeah,
different. You
yeah.
know, it's different.
Honestly, a snake.
I
And
like
here's the
that.
reason why is because like even the snake that don't have venom strikes quick.
I
But
like
I'll,
that.
I'll also grab you up. You know what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
snakes. You know,
Yeah.
I like
something
that.
like that. Look, and I'm slippery.
Yeah.
Hey, there you
You
go.
can't grab
There you
me.
go.
You can't grab me like that.
Yeah. That's awesome, bro.
So
All right. Let's see. Anything else, guys? Are we good? Where we at? 36.
26.
Yeah, 36. What else we got, Kane? You got anything else?
Yeah. Well, what's your prediction on this fight?
Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. I like that.
Yeah. I always like to hear this.
man. Second round.
Second round.
But that's God's choice. We'll find out.
Knockout submission. How you feeling?
I'm leaning towards a knockout this time.
I like that.
Because I think he's gonna heavily grapple me, and it'll probably be TKO if it's on ground. If it stays standing, yeah, knockout.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Anything else, Ronnie?
Yeah, I like it. Confidence is key.
yes,
Hell yeah.
sir.
I appreciate you guys coming today,
Yes,
bro.
sir,
This is
man.
fucking
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
Yeah, I fucking
We'll have
loved
you
it,
on
bro.
after the fight or whatever, bro.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
fucking
we'll fucking
open and so.
when we come back, we'll have some drinks. I'll drink with y'all. and
There we
we'll-
go.
I like
bro.
that.
Yeah.
We'll have more of a talking podcast.
There we
where
go.
We're just chopping it up.
And I want to see you do that move that I seen.
Oh.
You gotta do that on him. off camera.
Do a little sparring
I'll
action.
give him
and
a little demonstration.
There we go.
like
I appreciate you guys for having me out, man.
Yeah,
this
man.
was awesome. My first podcast. I hope it wasn't too bland on my part.
No, man. It was great.
that. Yeah.
Shout out my
Awesome.
boy Phil. This my boy Phil. This my brother.
Shout out Phil, man.
You know. And shout out these guys, man. Go listen to their music.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check you out.
He got some shit.
You got some
He
shit.
got
I'm gonna
some
have to
shit.
check him out,
For
man.
sure. Appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir.
Make sure to tune into his fight. If you need the link, hit him up on Facebook. Everything I'll have in the description of the video. If you're listening on Spotify and Apple, make sure to follow us and appreciate you guys for watching.
Yes.
Talk
Peace
is
out.
cheap podcast. The podcast where talk is cheap, but it's not free.
There it is.